Hello there, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the February version of my Psychic Hour. First of all, folks, I want to say how much I appreciate your being here since this evening is, I think it's the uh, Emmy Awards or the Emmys are on tonight. At any rate, anybody who's here, I can't tell you how much I appreciate being chosen um, over a really delightful television show. So many thanks. I love you being here and I appreciate your giving me your time. Also, I want to say thank you all for being here because tonight's an auspicious evening for me. If you read my newsletter this month and you read my editorial, you'll note that tonight happens to be my parents' anniversary. Now, both of them are deceased now, but I'm absolutely certain they're on the other side celebrating this wonderful, auspicious date because when I was in the kitchen of my home earlier this evening, my mother was singing to me. So, and how did I know it was her? Because the song she was singing was something she used to sing when she played and walked around and cooked in her own kitchen, probably 40 years ago. So it was really just a very, very nice little moment to get a quick celebration visit from her this evening. And I just wanted to share that with you. That's what I'm grateful for this evening. And that leads me to how we conduct our sessions when we do the Psychic Hour. Those of you who have been with me I can see some names here, have been doing the Psychic Hour with me for 4 or 5 years, but there are some new people here too. So if you're new, yes?
I hate to apologize. I'm so sorry. Did you start the broadcast?
Yes, I did.
Okay, because I'm not hearing you, and it says on my end it's not started.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Lisa, thank you. You know, that was my error, folks. I'm awfully sorry. I got the recording going and we were marching along just beautifully. And I never realized that the recording did not start at the same time the broadcast started. Lisa, thank you so much. And now, folks, you understand why Lisa is always on these calls with me. For those folks who are brand new to my Psychic Hour, let me explain how this goes, okay? First off, if you have a question that you would like to ask over the next hour, there is a little hand that you'll see on your screen, and as soon as you come on with your question, raise your hand so that Lisa, who is in the chat room on the call, knows that you have a question to ask. And if you are a little shy, maybe you haven't been here before and you don't want to hear your own voice on the recording when it plays back on YouTube and wherever else I might place it, the recording that is, you are certainly welcome to type your question into the chat box and Lisa will be glad to read it out for you. So you can ask your question two ways. That would be by raising your hand or by putting your question into the chat box where it says chat on your screen. And so there are two ways to answer your question. As I go through the hour, I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. If I don't get to your question, you are also welcome sometime before 9 p.m. tomorrow evening to send me one simple question. And somewhere over the next week or so, as soon as I can, I will get to answering that question for you, and you'll get a return question via email. And you can find the email address to send that to right here on the GoToWebinar site, or you can email it to Lisa directly at lisasainc@aol.com. And so you have three ways, really, of getting your questions answered this evening. Now, armed with that, when you get called on, the first thing I'd like to know is your first name. Second, where you're calling from, because that's always so much fun to know where people have come from. And the third thing I'd like to know is what you're most grateful for in your life right now. And then if you would give me your astrology sign, just your sun sign. If you don't know that, if you give me your date of birth, I can tell you your sun sign. And using this chart that you see here on the screen, which is called a horary chart in astrology, I'm going to be able to give you a lot of information about what's going on in your life just from that chart. This chart on the screen, folks, talks about every single person who is here on this call. And so all of us are here somewhere. And a lot of times I'm answering a question for one person and information for another person is also coming through. So please pay attention to all of the answers, even if it's not to your direct question, because my guides have a way of answering questions to many people at the same time. Also, then I'm going to give you a chance to actually ask your specific question as well. So we've got a whole great way of getting information for you, my guides and I. Before I jump into the actual meat, which is your questions, let me just make a couple of announcements. My Psychic Development online course is marching along very beautifully. We are finished with Psychic Development Level 1 at the present time. We had a great time with that. We're just into the first week of Psychic Development Level 2. And I wanted to let you folks know it is not too late. If being a psychic or learning to utilize your psychic abilities is one of your dreams, it's not too late to join in. And if you're willing to do the makeup work, it's not even too late to get a certificate. But either way, if you're interested in developing your abilities and you don't want to wait a whole year, because I only run those classes one time a year where I'm actually teaching them, so you may want to connect with Lisa and find out how you can get involved with that class. Now, I also want to tell you about my reading specials this month. And if you saw my newsletter, you're already familiar with this. But all month long, in honor of Valentine's Day, and folks, happy Valentine's Day. This is the beginning of Valentine's Day week, and I love it. It's one of my favorite holidays, so happy Valentine's Day. And in honor of Valentine's Day, I decided to offer 2 different readings that I do that can be gotten at discount, okay? And here's the way to get the discount, and here's what the readings are. The first reading is a channeled reading utilizing your astrology chart, tarot cards, and my channeled information from my guides and your guides. And that is a reading that I call Attract Love. It is a targeted reading, and it will be all the things that you need to do to be able to attract real, solid love that's going to surround you in every way into your life. The second reading I'm offering at discount is an astrological relationship chart reading. Now that's very comprehensive. That one's it's more expensive. It also takes an hour to do. And I work with 5 different astrology charts. My guides and I do that for you. We actually compare you to your loved one. And we talk about your positive aspects, your negative aspects, what's coming up in your future between you, how you can best resolve issues, what those issues are going to be. It goes very deep into the reasons even why you might be having difficulties and how to fix them and repair them. So that's astrologically based. It's done by my guides who are astrologers and myself. And both of those readings are available for 20% off all through the month of February if you use this code, LOVEFEB20. That's LOVEFEB 20 when you order that reading. Okay, so if you want to get one of those 2 readings and get 20% off of them, that's the way to do it. And I also have another really nice special, and this is the last time this will be offered. As you're aware, on my website there is now a membership area in which I have all of the classes that I taught for the last 35 years. It's just an amazing, basically college master's doctoral degree in almost every area of metaphysics. It's fabulous. The price on that is now $20 a month or $197 a year, which at that price, it's already a fabulous price to join with the amount of material there is available to you in there. But for the month of February, I'm going to go back and allow what I did in December and January. I'm going to allow you to get grandfathered in for 50% off. That would be $10 a month or $97 a year. But in order to do that, you've got to purchase any reading on my site with me and then contact Lisa, and she will tell you how you can go about getting grandfathered in. This is the last time that's going to happen. So if you want to get that super discount on the membership area, that's the way to do it. And at the same time, you can get a really good discount on the reading with me as well. Now, just one last thing before I move into our questions this evening. The next Psychic Hour is March 10th. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, make sure you have, and make sure you get it on your calendar, and we'll send you a reminder when that date comes if you're signed up in advance. Okay, I am ready to begin. I'm all set for your questions. Lisa, who's first?
The first lucky victim tonight is named Lisa.
Lisa,
I'm going to try to unmute. Lisa is self-muted.
Is there a wee little bit of prejudice going on here, Lisa?
Maybe just a little bit. She was asking, she writes it in person. Lisa, can you unmute yourself? If not, I'm going to have to move on.
In order to unmute yourself, you have to click on that hand again. No, you clicked on, not on the hand, on the mic. There's a little red or green microphone. Click on that, and it will unmute you.
I know she's there because she's playing with the hand.
Okay. No, the hand being up is fine. We know you've been called on. You got to click the microphone. Okay, I tell you what. While you are figuring out how to click the microphone, let's move on to a different caller, and we can come back to Lisa once she figures out how to get that mic open.
Sounds like a plan. Alrighty, I'm going to go up here. We're going to try Jennifer. I can't unmute her either.
Okay, let me try something. Maybe
Hi.
She's on.
Is this Jennifer or Lisa?
This is Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Good to
Hi,
speak with
Sandy.
you.
Hi, Lisa.
So, Jennifer, where are you calling from?
Calling from California.
Oh, boy. You're having
Most,
really interesting weather out there these days.
yeah, it actually is raining here. It's amazing.
I know. Odd for this time of year. And what is it that you're most grateful for in your life tonight, Jennifer?
Most grateful for health.
Excellent. Good for you. And what's your sun sign?
Leo.
Okay, let's find you on my horary chart here. Okay, as a Leo, we're going to follow my cursor. There you are. See that 0 Leo? That's a Leo sign right there. So this whole 11th house belongs to the sign Leo. Okay, so folks, if you're on the call like Jennifer and you're a Leo, first off, you've got your mind on friendships, and you're also, interested in how you can give something special, something loving of yourself right now to your loved ones. You're interested in giving out that energy. Now, there is an opposition here that opposition is to the other side of the chart, and it's to the sun down here in Aquarius. So there is very definitely a specific person that you're interested in giving that love out to, and you may be interested in trying to figure out how that person's capable of receiving from your love. What do they really want from you? So there are some relationship issues around you right now, Leo. And there's also a square. So it's a hard aspect, 90 degrees. If you follow my cursor, there's a square to the moon. And so whoever this person is in your life that you really would like to figure out how to connect better with, the problem here is that there are some money issues. This is the money house over here. And your values and that other person's values and what you feel is important, what they feel is important, and how you give love and how they give love and how you receive love and how they receive love aren't quite on the same page. Okay? That is called a T-square. If you look at my cursor, there's the crossbar. Here is the actual T, okay, the long bar that's vertical. And it comes out into the second house, which is the house of your money and your abilities and what you want to do with your life. And so this whole relationship thing has kind of got you really thinking about what you want and how you're going to balance it out in this relationship so that you can get what you want and make sure your partner gets what they want or the other people in your life get what they want. But you're interested in setting some boundaries now in your life too, so that you get something out of this as well, okay? Which is a little bit
Okay.
unique for Leo, isn't it? Okay. Well,
Yes.
you want to give, you love to give, but you're not really into just giving it all away anymore, okay?
Absolutely.
And the big thing here is, I want to give, but it's not necessarily going to be money or financial or stuff unless the other person does their 50-50. And that's because there's Libra on this cusp, and Libra is, folks, about balance. Okay? How am I doing, Jeffrey?
Yeah. Yeah. You're right on. Right on.
Okay, and that should actually be on the minds of certainly all the Leos here, but also, folks, if you're a Taurus, an Aquarius, or if you are a Scorpio, you've got the same kinds of things on your mind. It's about stuff, and it's about balancing the love and the stuff and the money and the making it all come out right where nobody's feeling used, nobody's feeling taken advantage of, and everybody's getting what they want and need in this perfectly balanced environment. Not always easy to do, but you can do it. So what's your specific question?
Well, thank you for all of that. And my mom has had some electrical things happening in her house recently. And I was just wondering if you saw anything with that.
Okay, we're going to do something called spinning the wheel for this. So you're getting an astrology lesson.
Okay.
I could do this psychically with my guides, but it's going to be more fun to show it to you in the chart. This is Jennifer, this house, right, Leo? Jennifer's mom is going to be the fourth house from her. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's Jennifer's mom right down there. Okay. Scorpio's on the cusp. Sagittarius is in the house. And what I'm going to tell you is that your mother's been freaking out about a lot of things lately, isn't she? Her energy is high. She's doing a lot of alternately angry, excited. She wants to go. She wants to stay. She's a little crazy. And she's flashing the lights. It's her.
Wow.
Not a ghost.
Wow.
Please tell her, not a ghost. This is, hey, Mom, did you know you're a kinetic medium?
Wow. Nice.
That also introduces another concept. People throw a lot of electromagnetic energy, and everybody has noticed this upon occasion, that when you're really low energy, occasionally the lights will flash around you. Or if you're really high energy and you're excited, all of a sudden the light will get brighter. We folks have a really great ability to interconnect with the electricity literally going through the wires in our house. You go through a time period in your life when you're super emotional, and watch how the electric bill goes up that month. It's really great.
Wow.
It's fun. Track these things. But occasionally, when I see the combination of water, Scorpio's water, and fire, and Sagittarius is fire, that combination in an astrology chart, water and fire, produces a person with a lot of electromagnetic, kinetic energy. And that's a person who, when they get mad, the hair will stand up on your arms. You'll actually feel it go past you, kind of like electric storm, right?
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
So
Wow.
tell her if she wants to control it, she needs to control herself. And she doesn't want to hit you, but she'll certainly understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, she's a Scorpio, so I don't think I can tell her to control herself, but I'm gonna try.
No, but you can tell her that if she wants to make all those weird, crazy things happen, she just has to, go ahead and do it, Mom, but then be responsible for it. And if it
Yes.
requires any appliance repairmen to come in, it's on you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And that was a really fun question. And I have a feeling that a lot of people who are on the call right now are busy trying to track that down in their own chart. here on the board looking at themselves, which is always a lot of fun. Thanks, Jennifer. And who's our next caller, Lisa?
Well, I'm going to go back to Lisa one more time and see if we can get her unmuted. All right, Lisa, can you try again on your end? There you go.
Okay, it worked that time.
Yeah. Sometimes.
It was weird. It kept telling me that you guys had to unmute me. No matter how many times I touched it, it kept saying that. Okay.
That's odd, isn't it? Maybe when the other caller called in, when Jennifer called in, it might have shifted something electronically on the wires. Or then again, it could have been, her mother's electromagnetic energy saying, I want to go first.
Right. Okay. My name is Lisa. I'm from Iowa. I'm grateful for all the blessings in my life. And I was wondering, I'm Libra, and I was wondering, what do you see for my life this year, 2019, as far as career path, moving, anything?
Well, first of all, let's take a look at you astrologically. And folks, what I'm going to say is going to affect all the Libras on the call. And yes, you too, Lisa Freeman. And it's also going to be affecting the Aries and the Cancers and the Capricorns. Okay. First of all, Libra on this chart is at the cusp of the second house, but remember it's 27 degrees, but only 30 degrees in a sign. Most of Libra is actually in this first house. Okay. So when we look at what's going on for you Libras this year, it really is about self-assertion. It's about finding yourself. It's about saying, I'm kind of tired of being in the background. I'm tired of being the wallflower. I'm tired of watching the world go by. I'm tired of spending my life just making other people happy. I want to be happy. I want to be seen. I want to be the one who gets to talk first. Maybe not tonight, though, Lisa.
Right.
And remember, 3 degrees are in the second house. This is the house of your money, talents, and abilities. And so not only is the sun on the cusp, but 3 degrees of it are in here. So this is important. And so you're really focusing on, do I want to continue in the same profession? Do I want to continue in the same field? Do I want to branch out and do new things? What do I want to do for financial planning? You might never even thought of financial planning before, but I bet you're thinking of it right now. Okay?
Yeah.
And you may actually be getting the help because part of this house is being shared by Scorpio, which is really very good with money and accumulating finances and especially gathering finances from other places and other people. And you may very well be doing this on your own, or you may be having a good Scorpio friend or somebody who's got strong Scorpio personality traits who is helping you out with that one. So you're really building your life. So this year, 2019, for you, as for most of us, it's a transitional year, but for you, the transition is how you are building yourself structurally, financially, creating a new foundation for yourself that is going to blossom as we move into 2020. But all through 2019, you're going to be building this, and this is where your mind is. And also, remember, we've got 27 degrees of Libra in this first house, but the sign on the cusp is Virgo. So at this point, you're in the midst of separating, I'm hearing the wheat from the chaff in your life, okay? You're in the process of getting rid of the people, the situations, the things that have been burdening you, that have been taking away your resources, both health-wise, personally, monetarily, and you're getting rid of these people and these things and these situations that have pulled your energy, because all that stuff is energy, and you're starting to focus on what really works best for you, what makes you happy, and guess what? How to get more of it. Okay?
Yep.
Yep, and that's true for every single one of, again, Libras, Aries, Cancers, and Capricorns who are on the call tonight. You're all doing it, maybe not as directly and focused as Lisa is, but you're all doing the same thing. Okay? So, Lisa, what's your specific question this evening?
Just as if I was on the right path for self-employment.
My guides are saying, oh, yes. Not only are you, I'm going to pick on you for a minute. Not only are you on the right path, but you've been moving in this direction now for, 6, 7 years?
Yes.
I mean, this isn't like I just thought of it yesterday. You've been
Right.
okay. And, my guys are saying, what's taking you so long? Not
I
only,
know, right?
but, do you want to have the whole city built before you decide to move in? You know?
I was thinking the village.
Exactly. And, I'm going to ask you, are you on a path that involves something in the psychic field? Because my guides are talking about you being very psychic, very sensitive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
And they're saying, you've already got the clientele. You've already got recognition. You've already got acceptance in your field. You already know that you've got joy. And,
mhm.
it's scary, isn't it?
It is. It
Like,
is.
your biggest problem is leaving the safety net behind. And I think
I know.
what we're going to be needing to do this year is to stockpile a little bit of extra money, stockpile a little bit of extra everything, because when you first leave the 9 to 5er, it's going to bottom out for a little bit. It has to, because there'll be an income that's missing. And then you'll have that extra time and energy, though, to pull it back up again. Okay? So you need a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit of stockpile to float you through that. Okay?
Okay.
And
Yep.
just so you don't feel, when I did this, because obviously I'm full time doing what I do.
Right.
When I did this was like maybe 38 years ago, and
Oh
I was
goodness.
working as a safety engineer. Now back then, safety engineers made about $30,000 a year, which in today's world would be something like $125,000 a year. I was doing really well as a safety engineer. Okay. And so to leave that job at $30,000 a year and go to my doing readings and teaching in my living room, which is where I was teaching at the time, where I was currently making $5,000 a year, was a real scary jump. You figure, huh?
It sounds like it. Yeah.
And I was very lucky. I had a man in my life at the time who was helping. He was my partner. He was making a big $16,000 a year. So I had been pretty much supporting us both. And he said, "We're going to make it. You go ahead and do that." And it took me about a year. And in that next year, and I put it out of my mind, I said, okay, he said do it. My guides say do it. I'm just going to take this plunge. I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to think about the money, because in the psychic field we can't. We have to really think about our people, not our money. Otherwise our guides get weird. So I thought about
Right.
people, okay? And guess what? More and more and more and more of them came. And about a year later, I looked at my finances, and I was making the same thing I was making as a safety engineer. And then it kept going from there, okay? And I wanted to
Yeah.
share that with you, just so you understand that, it's not, you are good at what you do. You are ready. And if you need to have the safety net, establish the safety net, get the safety net, and then take the plunge. Do it. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You're on track, is what my guides are saying.
Okay.
Good luck. Ooh, that was fun. That was exciting, as a matter of fact. I'm getting little chills all over. That just feels like a big wow. Congratulations. And Lisa, who is next?
All right, the next person in line is Angela.
Hey there, Angela.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And how are you this evening?
Doing great. I'm calling from Florida, and I'm an Aquarian. And right now, I'm just most grateful that things are turning around.
They are. Well, here
Oh,
you
yeah.
are down in this fifth house, okay, in this horary chart. So you are concerned about your loved ones. You're concerned, if you have children, about your children. And when you talk about things turning around, I don't really have the transits up here right now. This is the horary chart. We don't put transits with it. But, over the last couple of years, you've had some real interesting issues going on, okay? Because you had some major planets that were transiting not just your sun sign, but also the signs on either side of your sun sign. And so the fact that you're feeling this turnaround right now is great. Also, if you follow my work in my newsletters, we did just have 2 eclipses in January, one of which was in Leo. Matter of fact, it hit Jennifer's point right here in the chart, dead on. It was at 1 degree Leo, but it's opposing your sun sign. So that eclipse is, and the next group of eclipses are going through your sun sign and opposing. They'll be going back and forth for the next year. So this year is a change time for you, and you're already recognizing it. You're saying, I see the sun coming up. I see things turning around. And if we look at the chart in a financial, physical sense, things are healing for you. And in a relationship sense, you have somebody in your life who is helping, who's opening doors for you. And and that could be figuratively, not just emotionally. This person is trustworthy, and that's a blessing for you, right? So you've got some.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you've got some really good stuff happening here. And here's the one downfall, is that especially because these eclipses are going to bounce back and forth all year long between you and your opposition. And there are going to be people from those past situations that come back into your life and give you the opportunity to be dragged back into the old patterns. And it's up to you right now to decide if you want to allow that to happen or not. Okay? Because in the long run, the only one who could allow that to happen is you. So if you want to move forward, you're going to have to do that. And as each one of those old issues comes up, you're going to have to say no to it. And some of those are going to be hard because some of them are, they're kind of heart wrenchers. But in the long run, you can already see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see where things are going if you don't drag the past into the future.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that, folks, is for Leos, Aquarians, Scorpios, and Tauruses, because again, you're all getting some of what I just told her. Okay? So what is your specific question this evening?
If within the next few months, if I'll be able to transition out of my part-time job and work strictly full-time as a realtor.
Oh,
I'll still be juggling these two a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer, okay? What this chart's saying, the house that talks about your everyday life over this next few months is right here. It's got Gemini on the cusp. And Gemini, that Gemini, it's the juggler. It juggles 2 jobs. It juggles 2 home lives. It juggles its time. So, you're kind of frustrated with having to do all this juggling. But here's the thing. Cancer, and that rules selling homes. That's what you're doing. It's in the middle of this position. You see that? And the North Node is Cancer. So could you leave now and just do it? Yes. But you would be giving yourself a real deficit if you spend the next few months doing both, so that you're creating a good foundation where you don't have the stress. You're going to be much, much more successful, and you're going to have built up a clientele. So it's worth staying maybe another 4 months at least.
Okay, that's kind of what I was hoping, was 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
I'm getting burnt out.
And when I ask, will staying 4 months be enough? You're going to like this. This tells me, yes, it will. That's the 9 of Cups. It says getting what you want. But the upside down, the inverted moon, says that there are going to be a lot of emotional struggles in leaving where you're at. So just be careful that you don't get, grasped and pulled back and drained in the one position of the energy you need for the other.
Okay.
So what that tells me is don't tell anybody until you absolutely have to.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've learned that lesson the hard way.
And remember what I just said, folks. If you're a Leo, an Aquarian, a Capricorn, or an Aries, some of what I just told her is going to resonate with you, so I hope you paid attention. Okay? Thanks so much. That was a great
Thank you.
And good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Lisa, who's next?
Alrighty, my next victim, if I can find her, it's going to be Michelle. There she is.
Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Sandy. How are you?
Good. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. Um, I'm a Capricorn. I'm grateful to our mutual friend Lisa Jones Garcia and her husband Joe, who's been a backbone supporter with my daughter Gianna, who is 9, who is a very gifted psychic medium. She's just started to learn to manipulate water. She can actually make objects move. She's able to cross people over. We were in contact with Chip Coffee, and some producers we've met with them and done interviews. And my question is they're really looking at her to do a Psychic Kids. And I have a little bit of mixed feelings about that. And I was wondering, what do your guides tell you in regards to me allowing her to do this show? I don't know if it'll help her grow or if it will maybe be where it might scare her and maybe she'll turn it off.
Well, first thing I want to tell you is that this is one of those things that, what will be, will be. Okay? So recognize that. I want to just show you something in the astrology chart first. This is you, it's the Capricorn down here in the 4th house of the chart. Okay, looking down here where my cursor is. And looking at Venus, Saturn, Pluto, South Node, boy, oh boy, is this house chock full. My friend Michelle, you have got a lot on your plate right now. And obviously a lot of it involves your daughter, but also you've got relationship issues and family issues and responsibilities with taking care of people. And, you are pretty snowed under. And I want to tell you, you're doing a great job with it. And you are, you're doing this because you're saying that it's here and I'm going to take care of it because that's what I do. So you are really, you gave gratification to Lisa Garcia, who was a teacher of my system, Psychic Development, a wonderful one, as is Lisa Freeman. And you also were involved, still are very much with her husband. Lisa Garcia has passed, folks, so she's on the other side helping Michelle and her daughter. I'm absolutely certain of it. Can guarantee you that, as a matter of fact, from this chart. But, you, just like you said, Joe has been such a foundation for you and such a strength. You need to give yourself credit for being such a foundation and strength, not just to your daughter, but to your whole family. You're doing a great job. Applaud yourself. Give yourself recognition. You need to do that. Okay, that's number 1. Now, the 5th house from here is your daughter. And here she is, which is the 8th house of mediumship. Boy, is that not fun to see how the chart plays itself out and says, yes, this really is you. And Mars, Uranus, Moon are in here. So there's your daughter, yes, having the ability to manipulate water, manipulate objects. Your daughter's energy for her work intensifies with strong emotion. And that could be your emotion, somebody else's emotion. And it also becomes less controllable with all that emotion. So I know you've asked me upon occasion where should your daughter go to study, et cetera, et cetera. And it's not so important where she goes to study. What is important is that she studies, because she has abilities that she must get a handle on, or those abilities will control her. And I think you're aware of that, and so is she. Okay?
Yes.
What's interesting in here is that who your daughter, and I'm going to show this to you because it's important for all of you folks, Cancers, Capricorns, Aries, Libras, who have a lot of psychic people in your lives. Those psychic people, and for you, this is your daughter, who she is involved with is going to make the difference in whether she will ever use her ability professionally or in any concrete way which is going to benefit herself. So she apparently is very impressionable, and she has to be involved with the right people, whether it's on a television show, a radio show, or just with family and friends. It's not so much the who. You understanding what I'm saying? It's not so much the who. What's important is that the values are right, that she receives the right support, that she is treated in the right way, that those people are the people who are not going to take advantage of her in any way. Now, what that means is that wherever she studies, whether it's Candy Anastasi, whether it's on a television show, whether it's at a university in California, which might happen, by the way, wherever she goes with this, mom is going to have to be the stage mom because she has to make sure that her young daughter, just as if your daughter was an actor or actress, doesn't get taken advantage of. That's the key. It's not about her ability. You know she has the ability. It's about who she's involved with. Mom has to have the total control, and mom has to sign the contracts and make sure that they're all right for your daughter, and mom has to be willing and able to pull the plug if your daughter becomes uneasy or unhappy or is at any point feeling like she's being taken advantage of. Did you get all that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not about the people, and it's not about your daughter's skill. It's about you having the control. Okay? You
Okay.
want a Capricorn for nothing. Capricorns are supposed to keep the control. Just remember that. Now, you also were concerned about her turning her ability off. And I'm going to tell you that she does have to learn to turn her ability on and off. And one of the things that's happening and going to be happening over the next couple of years, notice I said years, is that she's going to find if she pursues this the way that these doors are opening, that everybody wants her to keep it open, 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 do more, 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 and more, and it is going to become overwhelming for her. And she needs to be able to shut it off so that she can go off on the weekends and be a real girl. Okay?
Exactly. Yes.
And now the next thing I'm going to ask you to do, Lisa Garcia left her young son, who's not so young anymore, I think he's 19 or 20, and he was also very, very precocious. You need to talk to him and get his take on this whole thing because I'm sure he's aware of it, and he's not the guy who's going to volunteer unless he's asked.
Yeah, I see him when I go for coffee, so I will ask him.
Yep. And if you catch him away from the family and away from other people, he'll be totally open and honest with you. Okay?
Oh,
And you're
okay.
going to do that because he'll have a lot of insight into his own experiences and how his mom helped him. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck, and tell your daughter good luck. She is very, very gifted. I'd love to see her do something special with this. And I think you're astute to not want her to turn it off, to want her to develop into what it can be, not what's going to necessarily benefit someone else. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Lisa, and who's next?
Alrighty, our next victim is going to be Joyce. Joyce, you're on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi there.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Hey.
It's good to hear your voice.
Well, thank you.
So, Joyce, where are you calling from?
Orlando,
Okay.
and I'm a Virgo, and I am grateful that my energy is returning.
Me too. Glad to see you on the call this evening. And Joyce is shown here. If you are a Virgo, folks, you're showing on the what we call the ascendant of the chart, right where my cursor is. Now, most of Virgo is up here in the house of the unconscious. So if you're a Virgo, for whatever reason, right now you're doing a lot of soul searching. You might be having very vivid dreams. You're having things pop up right out of your unconscious. Don't push them away. When they cross your mind, take a look at them, understand them before you let them go. Because a lot of those things that are coming up are things that either need to be released or that you need in your life right now because they may have value for the moment. But the position of Virgo right on the first house is real important. Everyone on this call who is a Virgo, please pay attention because this is your time. You're about developing self. You're about developing your own interests. Just can I ask you to mute your mic while I'm talking at the moment because we're getting these weird ghost echoes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And they're not real ghosts, those echoes. They were just feedback on the line. Okay, but if you're a Virgo, like Joyce, you're really about you and developing you and paying attention to you and getting into yourself and what's going to complete you. The opposition to your sun right now is Chiron. This is the healing planetoid. There are a lot of people around you who both require your healing presence, which is in a sense healing for you, because when you heal someone else, that energy comes through you to the other person. And you also have a lot of healers around you, people who are generating energy and goodwill to you. So this is a very healing time for you, Virgos, Pisces, Geminis, and Sagittarians. There's a lot of healing energy around you. You just need to open your eyes and your heart to it, and it's there. The hard aspect here to Jupiter in this third house talks about either child or sibling or sister that there's distance between that has created emotional hardship. But that's a T-square. Remember we have that T-square again? There's the T that crosses. Here's the line of the T that comes out into the ninth house. You may either travel to see them, or if they're on the other side, you may astral, or you may use mediumship to communicate with them. Taurus is on the cusp here. If they have gone a distance away on planet Earth, and that could talk about some of your kids or close friends, well, guess what? They're doing it because they're going to make a lot of money doing it. So there's a lot of motion around you. There's healing around you, but there's also, in the middle of all this motion, there's the ability for people to find themselves, develop their talents and abilities, and to be able to be more self-sufficient as a result of having done so. Now, Joyce, come on, unmute and tell me what your specific question is.
My specific question is it in my best interest to pursue legal action against one of my doctors?
Oh boy, this is a loaded question, Joyce. It's a loaded question. You know, my guides are saying no in the long run, but they're also saying yes. And I hate when they give me that information. I hate when they say yes and no, but I think you understand what they're talking about. This is definitely a yes and a no. If you
yes, I do understand that response.
Yes, and see, here's the thing. If you pursue that legal action, you are going to find out the things that you want to know. And that's important. You're going to find it out. But if you pursue that legal action, there's not going to be a lot of remuneration in it. The attorneys are going to make all the money. It's going to take a long time, and it's kind of going to drag you through the mud emotionally. But you will get the answers you seek. So that's why you're getting a yes and a no. Okay? So I know that didn't really give you clarity to act on, but at least it gave you confirmation of what your own feelings were.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any other question?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Hey, good luck to you, and it's good to talk to you again.
Thanks, same here.
And Lisa, who is next?
All right, our next person is going to be, who did I say our next person is? I just have to find her. There's so many people here. Melissa, you are unmuted.
Hello, Melissa. Are you there? Going once. Going twice. Lisa, Melissa may have stepped away from the mic for a minute. So let's go on and we may come back to her.
All righty. Well, then we're going to pop on down to Sandra. Sandra, you're unmuted.
Hello, Sandra.
Oh, my. Hello, Sandy.
Hi there.
Mm-hmm. Sandy?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. I can hear you.
Good. Okay.
I'm a Cancer, and my I'm grateful for being able to, in this time in my life, have options available. My question is, in the past, I have been able to connect with people who have moved on with my dreams or signs that are available to me.
Mm-hmm.
But lately, during the past year, I have not been able to connect. And I believe it's from my side, from what I'm doing wrong. So I know it's a vague question, but what can I do to connect with the people I love, including furry family?
Send them love. Let me show you what's going on. First of all, here you are up here at the top of the chart. So as a Cancer, what you are really, and all the Cancers, Capricorns, Aries, and Libras, please pay attention here. What you're really focusing on, especially as a Cancer, is career. Career changes, job changes, how you want the world to see you in this next year as we move through 2019 into 2020. You've got family issues going on in your mind. Yes, people have passed, people have passed, and you're overwhelmed emotionally with all of these things that are going on. And
Yes.
something that's interesting happens when we get overwhelmed emotionally. Imagine that channel that goes to the other side. Imagine it like kind of like a tube that goes both ways, and the energy of communication can go both ways. It can go from you to them, from them to you. When you are nice and relaxed and open and happy and loving, that communication just happens. You don't even have to concern yourself with it. It's just there. But when you get emotional, it's as if that hose, that two-way tube, squeezes down, and the channel through which the communication passes gets narrower. And because you're emotional, you're throwing all this extra energy through that, and your very projection of energy is preventing what they're communicating from coming back. Does that make sense? When you see it like that communication, like that, literally like the communicating wire on a telephone. And in order to have two-way communication, you can't crimp the hose, and you can't talk so much on your end that they can't get a word in edgewise. It's another way of looking at it. So what happens with you is when you calm down, when you get less on your plate, less emotional, when you're more relaxed, when you get into bed before you're too tired, all of a sudden those voices come back. All of a sudden those dreams come back. They are still there. You're absolutely correct. They've never stopped. Here are your loved ones in your 8th house. 8th house from the 10th is your 8th house. And that's where you connect with your loved ones. And look at that. The sun in Aquarius is right there. This is something you've done all of your life. They're always right there. As soon as you close your eyes, they're there. And they still are there. So the only thing stopping them is you've got too much on your plate. And you need to give yourself some quiet time before you go to sleep. You need to give yourself some quiet, relaxed time during the day. And you need to perhaps recognize, let's look at the other side of this. You need to perhaps recognize that you don't have to be all people or all things to all people. If I go back to the house of work, you apparently are in the process of either changing your job, changing your work, or doing a lot of traveling between different locations, and you're concerned about money and finance. And what you're going to need to do is to slow all that down and say, this too shall pass. I can do it all. Just because I didn't get it all done today doesn't mean it's not going to wait for me to do it tomorrow. Does that make sense, Sandra?
Definitely, Sandy. The reason why is because I just quit my job of 34 years to follow my passion, which is acting. But on the other hand, I miss my spiritual life, which I truly love because it completes me. And I totally understand the idea of just and letting spirit come through.
Well, and let's just take a look at something else here. Neptune rules spirit communication specifically. Here it is in the 6th house of the chart, which is everyday life. Neptune also happens to rule acting. Did you know that? So
No.
communication, acting, it also rules the world of spirit, your spiritualism, your spiritual side. I think it's really kind of cool that it can rule acting and also your spiritual life at the same time. You are doing a whole lot of trying to move into your spiritual life through prayer, through meetings with other people, through reaching out and doing things external to self. That's showing up here with Jupiter and Sagittarius. You're doing some online stuff with that as well. But what you are doing is the quiet time with yourself that you used to spend. That's what's missing. And I think if you bring that back in, and that can happen through prayer, it can happen through meditation, it could happen through taking a yoga class. I think if you bring that back in, all of a sudden your open communication will come right back to you again. Ultimately, as you settle into your acting career a little bit better and you feel more comfortable with it and there's less stress around it, then it'll also come back, because I think you're going to find acting satisfies that same spiritual yearning in you that something like meditation or yoga would do.
I totally understand, Sandy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you. And say hi to Oreo.
Sandy, he's right here on my lap as we talk.
I can see you. I could just see you in my mind looking down at the little guy and giving him a hug. And if anybody wants to see Oreo, just go and look at him on Facebook. He's on my page. He's on Sandra's page. And Oreo is the sweetest guy. He's one of my Maya and Max's puppies. And he is just a absolute love. So he couldn't have a better mommy. Thanks for being here, Sandra.
Take care.
Okay, and Lisa, we've got time, I think, for one more person. Maybe that gal who couldn't get unmuted before, we can get her now.
Yep, I think maybe we figured out why we couldn't hear her.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, wrong one. Melissa. Try again, Melissa.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
So,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you this evening?
I am doing well. I just saw on your little thing that says you're from Punta Gorda, Florida.
Yep.
That's hysterical because that's where my family is from. That's where I grew up.
Awesome.
So,
Maybe area as well. This is a really nice, laid-back area of Florida. So
yeah, I love it down there.
And they raise great people.
Yeah. yeah, they do. So, I'm a Taurus. I'm up here in Maryland now, though. Trying to remember what the other question was.
What
great.
For, yeah.
Yeah. I got my family, my kids, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing.
Awesome. So, guess what? As a Taurus, you occupy the cusp of the 9th house, okay, in this chart. So what you would have on your mind is, higher philosophy and maybe doing some traveling, maybe being able to open up to some new experiences. Because of the opposition to this house down here, you may actually have some traveling that's, in line that you may have a little trepidation about. This is what I want to do, but I'm having trouble lining it up. Or this is what I have to do, but I'm not really sure I want to. It's that kind of conflict. Again, if you're a Taurus, a Scorpio, or a Aquarian or Leo, you may have some of these same things brewing. Now, most of the sign is in the 8th house here, and that has to do with money and finance. And you may very well be concerned about an older man or woman, can't tell which from this, just see the emotional concern and the move or the change that you want to make. Is the money going to be there for it? Are these people that are you perceive as your responsibility? Are they going to be okay if you go ahead and put the energy into what you want to do? So there are these things that are on your mind that you don't feel like you can resolve because you're waiting for other people's lives to unfold before you can do what you want to do. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay. So guess what? You're right where you need to be right now. And it is going to unfold, and it's going to unfold in a way that works for you. Okay. Jupiter is involved with this whole thing. I'm going to kind of go a little bit more deep with this. There's a good probability that somewhere along the line there's going to be money coming to you, and it could be through an inheritance or perhaps winning something. But this is almost like money that you didn't have to earn, or objects, things that you didn't have to earn that come to you that help you to realize that dream. And yes, I can see your kids being so, so caring and so with you, but also the center of your life. You really have built your life around them. And I think that's also one of the things that's causing you some trouble right now, because you're feeling like you're torn between those things that are your responsibilities and those things you want to do and be with, some of which are your kids. And again, I'm going to tell you that this is just going to resolve itself. You don't really have to do anything except be patient. Sometimes that's the hardest thing of all, isn't it? So,
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is.
do you have a specific question for me?
So I've been in the current job that I'm in now, which is great. I love my job. But I'm kind of in like a weird in between place with it right at the moment. So I'm still a classroom teacher, but I'm moving more into management. So I'm just trying to figure out, I guess, if that's the right track. Like if
Yeah, that's a good question. And
should I keep going with it, or should I look elsewhere, or
well, first, let's look at the chart. I love to do astrology, so let's look at the chart. Um, this chart says that you need to keep expanding what you're doing.
Mhm.
And I think you're aware of that, and that's part of your dilemma. You're good at it, you love it, you found a home with it, but there's something inside of you that says, I need to keep going. I'm not at the top of what I can do. Okay? You also seem to have a heavy responsibility involving a gentleman in your life. Don't know if that's a husband, father, or friend, and that person does push you, both because of necessity, but also because he knows you can accomplish more. Okay, so I don't know if that gives you some direction. I don't feel like there is a requirement for you to do this. But I do feel that inside of yourself, you have, and also from him, you have this internal push that says, I really need to move on. I need to take this to the new level. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I know it didn't exactly answer your question, because, your question really comes down to what do you want?
Right.
But what my guides are saying is that if you don't do it, there's always going to be that something inside of you that says, what if?
Yeah. Yeah, I know all about the what if question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Very much. And folks, I want to remind you of what I told you at the beginning of our session. Our next psychic hour is going to be March 10th. Make a note of it, please. Put it on your calendar, sign up for it, then you'll get a reminder. Also, my online psychic development course is still going, and it's not too late to sign up for it. Just got a frog in my throat there. And I do hope that I will see you there or in one of my readings. And on that note, I'm still alive, folks. Good night, everyone.